See, for women's like naked bodies, that was like a way later for me. But I'm trying to think. I don't know. I just remember watching Dr. Quinn and being like,
Who's Dr. Quinn?
Shut up.
No, I'm serious.
We're talking about queer television today. You need to know something. It was this like, I'm probably wrong. It's probably like 70s or 80s. Maybe it was 90s. I don't know.
You're in the cult. You don't know these things.
I don't
time
know
was
time
a blur.
periods. All time is the same to me. No, so it's Jane Seymour, and it's this medicine woman. It's called Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman. It's like this frontier medicine woman. And Jane Seymour is still gorgeous, and she's like 60 something. I want it to be, I think his name was Sully. I did not pay attention to him. But
You didn't give a fuck about him.
I did not give a one flying fuck. He was like this I must have been the 70s because he had like long hair, very rugged looking. I didn't give a fuck about him. I just wanted to be him because I wanted to kiss Jane Seymour. And that's
actually the show that like corrupted you.
That was the show that corrupted me, and it was very much like I think my mom thought it was a little too racy because her boyfriend was
because you were fascinated with it.
No, because like her boyfriend was a little too like
wow.
edgy.
Every time that show comes on, Evan's like licking the television. It's really weird.
I was obsessed. I was like, this woman is just. I had never seen such a beautiful woman in my life, and and my Aunt Sandra was the one who would watch her, and so thank you, Aunt Sandra, for that.
There you go.
Yeah, she made me
corrupting children from the cult. Doing God's work.
Yeah, right.
So Evan has an announcement. If you'd like to share it.
I guess I'm announcing this. So I quit my job. I've never done that before. I mean, obviously I've quit jobs before, but I've never just handed a boss my keys or just walked off the job and been like, no, I'm done. Never. You're a pro at it.
I've only done it
twice. How did you quit the salon, the orange salon, whatever?
I got fired from there.
That was a really bad point in your life where Paul followed me out to Massachusetts and then everything went to shit from him immediately, except for you did find David.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was very shitty.
I got fired for no reason too.
Yeah. It's probably illegal, but.
It was definitely illegal. But
okay. And then what happened after that? Then was you Dollar General after that you went back to?
No, I went to another salon in Hopkinton.
Okay, and how'd you quit that?
And I gave them 2 weeks.
Okay, all right.
So it was only twice.
All right. So
and one was because, one, for the same reason you. Yeah. But the second one was because it was something I knew I didn't want to do, but I also needed a job in between until I got the job I wanted. And so I'd only been working there for a week and a half. And then they put me on the schedule for 8 nights in a row, like closing.
Yeah.
And then the job I'm at now called me and was like, hey, can you start Monday? And so I was like, yes, I can. Fuck working 8 nights in a row. Yeah. That's what you fucking get for being an asshole. Have fun.
Wait, didn't you quit Dollar General a similar way? Didn't you just like leave your
No, I gave my 2 weeks.
Oh, you did? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. See, I always thought you had quit there.
No, I gave my 2 weeks. I was very respectful, even though I took my vacation time for my second week.
Yeah, well, whatever. Fuck it.
I was like, I have vacation time. I'm using it. Yeah. I don't want to get paid out. I don't want to be here.
Yeah. No, I get you. No. Yeah, I've never done that before. I mean, I was very nice, but like... I was just like, I've wanted to be out of retail for a while. And I think I just needed a push to be like, well, now you have to find something else. Because I would have just stayed there forever. Because the money was good comparatively.
The money is, I definitely took a pay cut, but I will tell you that you won't miss it because you're going to feel way better about yourself. And you'll actually find that you may have more money. Because when I was there, I was always stressed. So I was always spending money buying things just to feel better. And then, like, once I stopped doing that, I, like, actually have money now. Yeah. Even though I'm making less. It's weird.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Because I spent a lot of money there. I spent a lot of money trying to feel better. A lot of money eating meals. Like, because I would be stressed. I would bring a meal, but then I would be too stressed. And when you stress, you want to eat crappy food. And I spent a lot of money on my employees, which is okay, except for, like, I was buying stuff for them that the company should have been providing.
Right, exactly.
For. Like, if you work for a decent company, they give you coffee. They give you water.
I have free coffee and water every day.
Exactly.
It's not even a question.
Yeah. So, like, I'm in fucking Providence, and you don't have a water fountain or anything, but what are your people supposed to drink? I don't know. Whatever. So, yeah. So I quit my job right before Christmas. So that
the wife was really happy.
She's so thrilled.
She seems very supportive, yeah.
She is. No, she, like, I mean, obviously there's that fear and uncertainty of what we're going to do, but, like, like we have money and Samantha works, so we're not like losing our house. There's nothing like that. Like that's the nice thing about being a little more stable in life is if you need to up and quit your job, then you can. Like the sad thing is a lot of people that have to live paycheck to paycheck, they don't have the ability. Like people are like, well, if you don't like where you work, just quit. Yeah. And what? And do what fucking what?
Like you in Indiana, what would you have done?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I had no choice. Like you have to keep working these shitty jobs. You know, I'm just fortunate in where I'm at today. We have a support system. You know, Samantha has a good job. And so we have a lot of things. Things are a lot different now.
Right.
So I'm not advocating for you just to up and quit your job, but I am also advocating for you to advocate for yourself. And if you're at a place that does not appreciate you, and not just doesn't appreciate you, like just treats you like garbage. Yeah, they just treat their employees like garbage and trash. And if they do that to you, then you know you gotta love yourself.
Make the best decisions for yourself.
Yeah, overall. Like, look at the big picture and
draw out a map. Think about things. And then decide.
Yeah, I sucked it up for a long time before I quit. A long time. So, yeah. Anyways, but yeah, that's my big announcement. So, the queer content is going to be great for the next couple weeks at least until I find another job. I've got free time, so I'm going to be generating some good stuff.
It'll be good.
But yeah, should we ask our audience if they want a Christmas episode though?
Yeah, let us know if you want a Christmas episode. So, because of how busy I am during that time, since Evan's not employed anymore and he won't be as busy. We were thinking it would be better if we just did kind of like a happy holidays episode rather than a fully dedicated episode.
Also, it drops on Christmas.
Yeah, it drops directly on Christmas Day. And I don't really know anybody who's actually going to wake up Christmas morning and listen to a podcast. Unless you're a really diehard fan, then like reach out to us because we want to give you a shout out.
You can wait. I will go down see the Christmas tree after I listen to my Your Queer story. You know, if you do that, you're a fan of the day, and we'll send you something. We'll send you the signed mug right here that I'm drinking from.
There you go.
Just had my lips all over it. By the way, weird segue, but Safe Place. Don't forget, guys, we're running a holiday promotion for Safe Place. That's the organization that provides Safe Place all across the country. You text for help to them and they get you to a safe place. If you're an at-risk youth, you're in a domestic violence situation, you just need to get away. So, you know, you're not in a safe environment and you need to get to a safe environment. Safe Place gets you there. And for every $1 that you raise, we said $5 last time, but that wasn't true. That wasn't what our video said. Every $1 that you donate. We lie
sometimes because we forget.
We do. It's our bad memories. Every $1 that you donate goes towards a raffle to get a 20-minute FaceTime with Paul and I.
Yep. FaceTime, Skype, whatever you use. And if for some reason you're really bad with technology like Evan and you can't figure it out, we'll give you a phone call.
Yeah.
If that would be,
we can do that.
If you would rather
if you don't have FaceTime, you're like, I don't know how to get there. Like we'll do we'll write you a letter and draw pictures of our faces in there. And there'll be horrible pictures, but it's the thought that counts.
And you know what? One day that's going to be worth a lot of money. When I get rich and famous one day, you're going to be like, Paul Hobbs drew me this picture, and you can sell that shit on eBay for probably like $50,000 at that point.
And it'll be Paul that buys it back because he's trying to up his street cred, but whatever.
I would buy it back and resell it for $75,000.
What a dick. He's got a fake profile and everything. But yeah, no, help us honestly raise money for Safe Place. We're running it through December, and you can go to our website. We've got a donation link there. You can't donate directly on Safe Place, but send us a picture because we got to know that you donate it.
Yes, so either way you donate, send us a picture. Because we didn't set up like a payment portal because we wanted to make sure that we weren't taking any additional, like when you process payments, it costs fees. Yeah. So I set everything up to go directly through them. So they're not missing out on any money, not even a penny. So just if you donate, make sure you take a screenshot of some sort, or I don't know if they give you an email, just show us proof and you'll get your virtual raffle tickets.
Exactly. Yeah. So help us help somebody else. And yeah, I feel like we talked about a lot of random things.
Yeah, I mean, this is the correct podcast to be listening to random things.
Yeah, you're listening to Your Queer Story.
The podcast that inspires peace, love, radicalism, and holiday cheer.
I was reading another email. It was actually an older email that I found when I was going through our emails. And a person was talking about how they love the peace, love, radicalism, whatever.
See?
Everybody makes mistakes, and that's why we're here. But also, I will say this before we get into we're going to get to our show. We're talking about queer television today, but it was nice to reach out to someone. It's got to be every week now that we're talking to someone that needs help.
And so, like we always say, it doesn't matter how you reach out to us. Email, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram will always respond.
Yep.
And go ahead.
No, it's nice to be able to connect to you guys. I appreciate you guys reaching out to us, and we want to help you. Like, if you're in a tough situation, we want to be there for you. We want to help you. So please, you can email us, reach out. Like Paul said, any form of connection. We want to talk to you, get you the help that you need. So don't be afraid to, because it's nice to get back. We've both been in rough situations.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've both come a long way.
Yeah. Anyway, so queer television. You want to start us off today?
Sure. In honor of the return of notorious lesbian drama, The L Word.
Which I know you've watched every episode
Every single one.
Because you watch so much TV.
Absolutely.
What do you do in your free time?
Play video games, play with my cats, listen to music, play more video games.
One day we can do queer gaming, but I feel like you're going to have to do the research for that because I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about.
We actually had somebody request that episode, but
that's true.
But I can find a Wikipedia article and copy and paste, but
I can look into it and see what I can find. I just know I'm going to have no idea. I'm going to pronounce everything wrong and Paul's going to be like, it's this.
Like how you do to me.
Like I do with everything else.
So today we dive into queer TV, covering some of the most groundbreaking moments and influential shows in English TV history. That's right. We're not just
talking.
That's
I spelled
right.
that right.
For once. We're not just talking about America in this episode. We're also covering England and Canada, as the three countries have heavily influenced each other's television, and we'll be all over the place with genres from documentaries and dramas to sitcoms and reality TV. But let us take you back to where it all began. Canada, 1972.
Yes, and I am sorry to Australia. I know we could have incorporated you, but it's just the way that England and Canada are so often linked. Can you hear Samantha's tea in the background? Okay.
I thought I was having a mental break for a second. I was
that's Samantha's
that's why I was looking around. I was like, does anybody else do you hear that, Evan? Am I going crazy?
Yeah. So sorry, Aussies, but we're keeping up north today. Anyways, so before reality TV, there were just docuseries, which is how the first show dedicated to queer people was structured. In 1972, Toronto, Canada's local community channel aired Coming Out, a 13-episode series that profiled early gay rights activists and the LGBTQ movement in Canada. The show covered a variety of members in the community and was one of the first positive exposures of queer culture produced on television. So before this, you can look it up on YouTube, and we've talked about it. It was just really scary PSA announcements about how
from
homosexuals,
yep.
Exactly, homosexuals are ruining it. So this was the first time that someone was positive. However, Coming Out was never picked up by any national broadcasting channels, and the series only ran for one season. Yet it opened the door for queer exposure on TV, and possibly inspired All in the Family producer Norman Lear to pitch his new idea to the American broadcasting channel ABC.
Is that what ABC stands for?
That's what it stands for.
Wow.
What did you think it was?
I literally just thought it was ABC. I thought they were this is going to be real simple. We're just going to keep it to 3 letters. NBC. What does NBC stand for?
National Broadcasting Channel.
My mind is...
They're just standing there all right, buddy, you got to put a name down for your channel. He's like, I don't know what I'm doing. He's like, you got to put something down. I don't care. ABC 1, 2, 3. I don't care, man. Put it down.
I literally thought it was just ABC and NBC. I did not know they stood for something.
Why would people be putting random numbers down?
I don't know.
Paul.
This is America. You can do whatever you want.
I know, but Go ahead. People are like, YQ, yes. I just thought YQ, QS. Nobody says that.
Lear was a hip TV producer of the 1970s, the Shonda Rhimes of his era, so to speak. For the past 4 years, he had given audiences one smashing success after another, starting with All in the Family in 1971, Sanford and Sons in 1972, Maude in 1973, Good Times in 1974, and his newest release, The Jeffersons in 1975. So it is no wonder producers were willing to take a chance on his new show, Hot.
It's okay. So it's a hotel. It's this is probably why it failed. I'm gonna be honest.
Nobody could. They were
nobody
like,
could say it. It's supposed to be Hotel Baltimore, but it's missing the E because the hotel in the thing is missing it, but it's like Huddle Baltimore, and everything I listened to had different pronunciations. People are like
horrible.
Hotel, Huddle. They're trying to do like a Baltimore accent, but it just comes out as Hot L Baltimore.
That's horrible. The sitcom was set in a rundown hotel in Baltimore and featured an array of characters from prostitutes to illegal immigrants. But the most controversial was the older gay couple who lived at the hotel. Because of the content, when Huddle Baltimore debuted in 1975, it was the first show on ABC to run a warning label before every episode. Yet, even with Norman Lear backing the project and ABC, which apparently stands for American Broadcasting Corporation, right?
Company,
to their credit, standing by his side, the show faced harsh backlash. Ratings remained low and protests stayed high. Though the broadcasting company allowed the sitcom to complete its first season, they didn't pick it up again for a second year.
Yeah, so I mean, there was a lot of controversial things, but yeah, they would run a warning that said this has, defamatory or controversial content. It wasn't the first show on television to do that, but it was the first show on ABC. And people were also, the main character was a prostitute, and so people were very upset about that too. So there was a lot of things, but he had a gay couple living in the hotel, and of course, no affection. You just
you just knew that they were together.
Exactly,
but
and that was controversial enough.
Right.
People are like, oh well, wait a minute, buddy. This would be a recurring theme for the next 20 years. Shows prominently featuring LGBTQ characters would make their debut, run for a season, and then get canceled. In 1977, Gay News and Views aired in Toronto as a talk show meets news segment for the queer community. Kind of like maybe what's that called? The Daily Show type thing.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So the show managed to squeeze in 2 series runs in the fall of 77 and the spring of 78. But from its inception, there was backlash from every side. Conservatives protested before the first episode ever aired and managed to push Gay News and Views from the prime 6 p.m. slot to the much later 10 p.m. program time. Complaints also got the show temporarily canceled when complaints from queer viewers and allies put it back on the air. So it got canceled, then it got put back on. But eventually the program became too much of a headache for the broadcasting company McLean Hunter, which is a big broadcasting company in Canada, and it was officially canceled in May of 1978. Upon its cancellation, one TV executive stated that Gay News and Views was disrespectful to the establishment heterosexual community.
Yes, so you having some form of information on your community is disrespectful to us.
Disrespects all the heterosexuals.
Because it has nothing to do with us. So therefore, it's disrespectful because we're excluded.
Exactly.
I literally don't know what else they could have been mad about.
Oh, no. There was no other reason. There was absolutely no other reason.
It's not a show exclusively for us like everything else on TV. How dare you think you can take an hour away from us? Especially at 10 p.m. when we're all up watching TV.
I love my 10 p.m. shows. And the kids are staying up and everything.
The following year, across the pond, Britain gave its first real shot at queer representation on TV. The news segment Gay Life premiered on Sunday evening at 11:30 p.m. on February 11th, 1980. The weekly show ran for 1 year before being canceled in 1981. But the same year, Gay News made its entrance and another show debut that would find more success. The sitcom Agony premiered and managed to run for 3 seasons, albeit they were much shorter seasons than the American or Canadian 13-plus episode run. Agony only produced 7 30-minute episodes each year, but they packed in a lot for that small amount of time, addressing many controversial subjects of the time. Episode featured talks of drugs, suicide, racism, and homosexuality, including the recurring characters of a gay couple who played neighbors to the main character, Jane. Despite its short run, the show was incredibly popular, inspired the American version, The Lucy Arnaz Show. However, we couldn't find out if the show carried the gay characters with it.
Yeah. So Agony was it's really weird because shows have gone so long now. Now shows are 20, 22 episodes, and but in the 70s and 80s they were 13 episodes, and then in a Britain, I guess they're just no, fuck that. We're just gonna do 7 bloody episodes.
Imagine having 7 episodes and then you had to wait a whole another year for that.
A whole year. Yeah, that's a lot. 7.
When I found out the last season of Game of Thrones was only 8 episodes, I was angry. I was like, what do you mean? I want 40 more.
Exactly. And at least they gave you guys 2-hour episodes or something?
Some of them, but a lot of them were regular time.
Oh, well, these are 7 30-minute episodes. Yeah. So once a week for 7 weeks, you had a 30-minute episode.
And then you had to wait a whole nother that.
Yeah.
Get your shit together, ancient people.
Sorry. But yeah, no, but this was one of the first shows on television that had a recurring gay character because, and for like during this time, and honestly for the next like 30 years, at best you would get like an episode or two, a season, like a series that focused on queer issues.
Yeah, or they like popped in the camera for a quarter second and then disappeared.
Exactly.
Like, hey, we're here.
Hey, we're here. Okay, and we're leaving.
Yep.
So yeah, but this had a recurring characters. But it's not like America was doing well with keeping any show that portrayed positive queer storylines. Vincent Schiavelli had been the first American actor to play a recurring gay character on television. His role as Peter Panama in the 1972 ABC show The Corner Bar has been praised for decades. Yet, just like Lear's Hotel Baltimore, which came 3 years later, The Corner Bar was shelved after one season. It would be another 16 years before any American TV series would try again with a gay character. And that would come in the 1988 with the debut of the ABC drama Heartbeat, not to be confused with the British 1992 Heartbeat or the 2016 NBC series Heartbeat. It's a popular name.
Apparently. Not real creative.
Right? The original series was a medical drama featuring 3 female leads, with one of the main characters being an out lesbian who had a long-term partner.
Wow, long term. Look at that. They're getting real serious.
Oh, yeah, they were. But I don't think I put it in here. The women never showed any affection.
Oh, no.
Never. They never touched each other, never kissed, but they was like...
You know what, though? They would have been allowed to do it because they were women. And
almost, not quite yet.
Oh, no, not yet?
No, not quite yet. No, It would be in a couple more years before they could show any affection like that. Wow. Yeah.
In many ways, the show is groundbreaking by making a main character a lesbian. However, the actresses who played the lovers were never allowed to show intimacy, unlike their straight counterparts. Still, the show got people talking. In a pre-debut interview, People magazine ran an article titled, "Is Primetime Ready for Its First Lesbian?" I feel like I needed a very news voice for that, but it didn't happen.
Well, you could try again.
I don't know how to do that. You got to do the news voice.
It's prime time ready for its first lesbian. Gail Strickland hopes so, and she's about to find out.
I feel like that's just like how people in your cult talked whenever they were like in front of you. So like it's just ingrained in your...
Hey man, can I tell you about God?
Yeah,
tell you
exactly.
about Jesus?
In the interview, the actress Gail Strickland, who plays lesbian Marilyn McGrath, gave a beautiful response to the reporter's question. In regards to her controversial role, she stated, "It's not often actors get to play parts that might make a difference. The fact that somewhere, somehow, someone's perspective might be softened is important to me. My character, Marilyn, is a loving, warm professional who cares about her daughter and has been a good relationship for 4 years. If that is how I'm stereotyped, then that's fine with me. My only worry was that the network wouldn't fulfill their part of the bargain. I'm sure they'll get mail, and I'm afraid they'll pull back when they get negative responses."
Yeah, so there was a lot of thing about like, but don't you think you'll be stereotyped as a lesbian?
She's like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, she's like,
That's
oh, you mean like
awesome.
a kind, caring person who's in a long-term relationship? Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
But Strickland was exactly right about the backlash. Ultimately, the show tanked in the ratings, and protests over the content caused Heartbeat to be canceled after 2 seasons. Yet more than 30 years of open activism by individuals in the LGBTQ community was starting to pay off. In 1986, the American channel HBO...
What does that one stand for?
I don't know. Hot body. I don't know. I really don't know. Something broadcasting. Oh, I don't
Operation?
know.
I'm like curious now. I'm like HBO. That must stand for something too.
It does.
Apparently, everybody's not just throwing in
something.
letters.
It's like LGBTQ. You think that's just random letters together? It's all an acronym, Paul. Okay, so somebody please send Paul a DM of what HBO stands for so he can know, because he's not going to look it up.
I won't. You're right.
So the American channel HBO partnered with Canadian television to feature the short drama The Truth About Alex, a story of a young gay teen who is outed and his best friend's journey to accepting Alex's orientation. The made-for-TV movie went on to win 2 of Canada's Gemini Awards, which is similar to their Emmys, and America's Golden Eagle Award, which was presented by the Sign Foundation in Washington, D.C. I've never heard of that, but it won that
Must
award.
be something important.
I guess so.
3 years later, in 1989, Canadian hit teen drama Degrassi produced a spin-off show titled Degrassi High. The show aired on Canadian, Australian, and American television and sparked controversy as it tackled real teen issues. The most controversial was a 2-part episode about abortion, which would be cut out and censored for the next 15 years. But topics such as drugs, sex, suicide, and gay rights also got the show into trouble. Eventually, Degrassi High would be canceled after 2 seasons. Yet the popularity published yet another spin-off into Degrassi Next Generation and remains a cult favorite show to this day. It was the perfect introduction into the explosion of queer exposure the 90s brought to TV.
Man, Canada loves Degrassi. Like, that thing has been going on.
I've heard a lot about it, but I've never actually watched it.
I never watched it either. Sorry, Canada. But, like everybody talks about Degrassi, and, like, I have no idea, but it's been going on in one form or another for, like, ever. We cannot understate the importance of 90s television in relation to LGBTQ activism. While censorship was heavy and protests were frequent, nevertheless, the 90s did come through in the end. We'll start with an obscure show that seemed to be about 10 years too early. Oranges Aren't the Only Fruit. They aired on British Broadcasting Channel BBC in 1990. Look, there's another one that you know.
BBC? I
put most of these in here. I don't know why I didn't put HBO.
You were like, I just want Paul to be confused for the rest of the episode.
Nobody cared. HBO is HBO. Like, BBC, like, that's British Broadcasting Channel. But
I do now.
HBO, it's like, what is it? Home Broadcasting? I don't know. Okay. The plot centered around a young woman raised in an evangelical home who realized she is a lesbian. I don't know. It sounds familiar, but I don't know. Only 3 episodes were made, but the show managed to cause quite an outcry for its lesbian scenes and perceived attack on the evangelical faith. Still, it also gained great critical acclaim and won the BAFTA Award in Britain and the GLAAD Limited TV Series Award in America. In fact, Oranges Aren't the Only Fruit left such a lasting impact that in 2010, The Guardian ranked it as number 8 for the best TV dramas of all time.
Wow.
Yeah,
I feel like 20 it's only
years
3
later.
episodes. I can do that.
I think you could swing it.
I should look into that.
You should.
Throughout the mid-90s, many popular TV shows in Canada, Britain, and the States all featured occasional queer characters or episodes centering around queer issues. To their credit, Canada did try to launch Tales of the City in 1993, a strictly LGBTQ-oriented show. But outcry caused producers to pull the plug after a 10-second... Oh, I thought it said 10-second. I don't know.
Like, one guy kisses, they're like, that's it, it's done, pull it.
No, it's just the episode starts and they're just like having sex and they're like, nope. After a 10-episode run, not seconds, for the record. For most of the early 90s, shows were forced to keep to quick and simple storylines for queer appearances, almost all of which featured lesbian or gay characters and ever rarely showed other representations of the queer alphabet. The first on-screen lesbian kiss in America was aired in 1991 on the widely popular LA Law. Canada's Family Passion featured a short storyline about a lesbian couple wanting to adopt. And of course, who could forget Ross's ex-wife on Friends, who later came out as a lesbian. The show also featured a lesbian wedding and attracted over 36 million viewers to watch it unfold.
Yeah, very big. Have you ever watched Friends?
Nope.
Okay.
Never an episode.
You just lose us viewers every time you do this.
I don't watch TV.
You know what? It was really sad. The only person I didn't include in this is RuPaul, which we did an entire...
How did you
we
not?
We did an entire show about RuPaul, so you can go back and listen to it. But
he was very influential, you know.
He was very influential, but that wasn't... I didn't do a lot about reality TV. I was doing more like regular like television.
Fuck RuPaul, right?
RuPaul
now
has
we're
a whole
never
fucking episode.
Now we're never
going
to be guest judges.
Right, whatever. So as the decade continued to progress, gay characters were no longer a mere glimpse appearance. Now they were recurring figures in popular shows, though often their entire character development was singularly focused on the individual's orientation. I put a lot of big words in there for me.
I'm glad you got it.
In Britain, the show This Life centered around 5 housemates, one of which was openly gay and spent quite a bit of time in therapy over his orientation. Canada ran a similar theme in the show Liberty Street, which told the story of tenants in an apartment building. Like This Life, in Liberty Street, one of the main characters was a gay man who lived openly and often navigated the threats of discrimination. In many ways, the portrayals of the burdens of gay people did aid in garnering public sympathy. However, it reduced the characters to one-dimensional and did not allow audiences to see queer people as fully whole and human. So that's like a big ongoing like comment now. Like, yes, like we wanted gay representation and queer representation on TV, and that was good. And you can argue like you had to take it a step at a time. But it made it like all about like if it's not about you being discriminated against or you dying of AIDS or something extreme,
why are you on our show?
Exactly, right? Like you're just taking up space. We want the sad sob story, or we don't want to see you. Like we don't want to just see you having a romantic dinner with your partner. We don't want to just see you dancing together. Like we want to see the nitty gritty. Keep the intimacy out of it.
In America, things had really taken off in respect to queer representation on TV. The show, Relativity, featured what some hardcore fans consider the first real lesbian kiss.
Of course, you know how people... Oh, that one. L.A. Law wasn't the first real lesbian kiss.
That wasn't real. This is what qualifies it to be a real kiss. In 1997, the scene between actress Lisa Edelstein and Kristen Datillo, hoping I'm saying that right, was quite a steamy one to be sure, and it also featured the first on-screen kiss between two actual queer women. They weren't just pretending.
Acting. Exactly.
And but also... That's what they do on those things. They act. I thought it was all pretend.
But also people said because the one on L.A. Law, which I watched both of these scenes a couple times for research.
For research purposes.
Yes, exactly. And so the one on LA Law was just like, it was a closed mouth kiss. And this was an open mouth makeout session. And that's why people are like, that's the real first
They're both kisses, but I can see the first intimate kiss. You could say that.
Yeah, both of them were landmarks in their own way.
Right. Another landmark was the hugely popular teen show Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It was one of the first shows tailored to young people that featured a recurring gay character, and if you know anything about American television, you know that character was Willow, one of Buffy's best friends. Of course, even though the series dropped in 1997, Willow wouldn't come out until the early 2000s. Still, the show's openness to queer themes has left a lasting impression on many LGBTQ millennials, and vampires and queer just go hand in hand.
They just do.
Because vampires are such like, I don't necessarily want to say such sexual beings, but they're such, what is that word?
Fluid?
No, they're such... sexualized. What's the word?
They are sexualized.
No, when they're oh my god, what is the word when you're like are really into something in sex? Like you fetishize.
Fetishized.
Yes, that's the word. Okay. I'm like, digging through my dictionary of words, like, what's the right word?
I think that also just the whole realm of like mythical like opens it up. Like
it does,
if you're just talking about regular, my neighbor next door is gay, I don't want to see that. But if you're talking about this entire fantasy world, then you'd be like, oh, well, those people can be gay. That's fine.
Those aren't good Christians. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, that's actually how they introduced Willow as a character. Like it was in one episode where like she splits into two people and her alter ego is gay. And like kind of tells her like, hey bitch, you're gay. And then Willow's like,
by the way, I never knew. I never looked at Buffy that way. What are you talking about?
The whole like that whole idea, that whole world allows it to open up because you're playing with things. Yet things were moving in other parts of the world as well. In Canada, they brought back Tales of the City and another 10 episodes adaptation titled More Tales of the City. Real creative.
Real clever. Oh, no.
Canada's been doing this for 30 years, Paul. They've just been bringing it out with more tales and another Tale of the City. Like literally.
Additional Tales of the City.
No, literally, that's one of them.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I swear to God. There's one that just came on again, and I don't know what it's like. Tales of the City again. Yeah. But whatever, they're making it work. So once again, the series ran only briefly, but the transgender character Miss Madrigal, it sounds Mrs. Madrigal, which it sounds almost like magical when you hear it. The transgender character Mrs. Madrigal comes out, marking the character as a trans icon. So one of the first like real like recurring positive characters. And of course, perhaps the most well-known queer show of the 90s came in right at the very end. In 1998, Will and Grace premiered.
Love Will and Grace.
I know.
I have a lot of my personality from Karen. I identified most with her than
you are Karen.
I literally identified with Karen over any of the gay characters. I was like, no, I'm definitely Karen.
Yep. Literally the only show on all of this that Paul has probably watched.
The only one.
We have watched many, many episodes of Will and Grace over and over again. So the show premiered and would run as one of the most successful sitcoms of the era. The show featured featured not one, but 2 gay men, a fag hag, and a sexually fluid alcoholic as its main cast. It won 16 Emmys and was nominated over 80 times. To this day, it is hard to find many people who have not seen at least one Will and Grace episode, and even its revival more than 15 years later still draws moderately high ratings. They're in like their 3rd season as a revival. That's pretty good.
I should watch the revival. I haven't committed time to it, but I know that I loved it so much growing up that I really should. I mean, I don't know why I haven't. It's just because I'm not into TV now that I'm going to, like, I just... Yeah. It's just because I don't like TV.
I mean, it's definitely not as good as the original. It's never going to be. They're a lot older.
There's too much...
They're very political now.
Yeah.
But...
Too much comedy gold, and, like, you can't recreate the essence of what makes something good. Like, you can do your best to be like, okay, this is a good show, but it'll never recreate the actual... That's why sequels are never as good. Yeah. Because you can't recreate that magic that, like, just made it work.
Well, that shock and, like, like, you get used to, like, the same... It's like why a series end, right? Because by, like, the 7th, 8th, 9th season, you can anticipate what's going to make you laugh, and you still love the show because of what it gave you, but it's not the same. You know, so that... And that's why, But the... Oh, man, the original series... It's just like the first 4 to 5 seasons, the funniest thing, like my top comedy shows of all time.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Karen's character, what's her name? Megan Mullally's character. It's amazing.
It is. It's brilliant because it's like what I always aspired to be. Yeah. But I never reached that level because I would because she would get drunk and be hilarious, and I would get drunk and I would like fall. So like I just never got to that level. You want to be
that funny? You know who doesn't get enough credit? Actually, for me, Deborah Messing. I love Deborah Messing. I thought she was great in that. She's the redhead.
Grace?
Grace.
Why didn't you just say Grace? Okay. Nobody knows her real name.
Yes, they do. A lot of people know who Deborah Messing is. I've never seen her in anything after that I really liked. I'm sorry, Deborah Messing. I know you're listening to this. But I haven't seen her in a lot of stuff. But I loved her in Will and Grace. I don't know. I think she was so underrated.
Because she was not... Because the show had so much shock value and she was... Yeah. I don't want to say just a straight woman, but like when you're in you know what I mean? Like when you're in a gay show and you're like the straight friend, the straight fag hag, like... You're kind of a back character as compared to like all the shock value of everyone else.
Well, she was supposed to be like the supporting character. Right. I mean, even though it was Will and Grace, like she fed, but like there was I just felt like it was a lot of underrated, like her comedic value was.
Oh, she was definitely good, but she just, she wasn't in the spotlight, so she never got that attention.
Yeah, exactly.
But it wasn't just sitcoms and drama that made people pay attention to queer issues. The Real World was one of the first popular reality shows in mainstream culture, and in its cast it featured a gay man named Sean living with HIV. The show also aired his same-sex ceremony with his boyfriend. Sadly, Sean passed away just hours after the 1994 season finale of The Real World. But the increase in queer visibility no doubt inspired many others, including popular sitcom star Ellen DeGeneres, who came out on her show during the Puppy episode in 1997. The episode won Ellen a Peabody. Wait, Peabody. No, sorry. We're on the East Coast. I'm triggered. Like, got yelled at so many times. Peabody Award and cancellation of her show. It would be several years before she would find much success in entertainment. However, that all changed with the debut. I'm having a seizure over here. That all changed with the debut of her iconic talk show, Ellen.
Yeah, and we are going to be covering Ellen at the beginning of the year. If it's not in February, it might be the end of January, but I promise it'll be in the first couple months. You have to cover.
And she's going to be on the podcast, so get ready for that. We're going to be on the show.
Paul is lying to all of you. I'm sorry.
You could just tweet her.
I feel like
if everybody tweeted Ellen, it could happen.
Oh, she's going to show up and be on our podcast?
No, but she might invite us to her show. So everybody just needs to tweet Ellen, and then we'll record a little clip with her on the show, and then she'll be on our podcast.
Okay, yeah.
So everybody tweet Ellen.
Please, yes. Well, the thing with, there's so much controversy, I feel, around Ellen right now. Just in general, just the younger queers are like, she's not doing enough. And I'm not going to debate that Ellen isn't out of touch or she could do more. I'm not going to debate any of that, but I am going to say you also have to appreciate what someone did do for the community. Like you could say you're not doing enough now, you need to step up. I get that, holding people accountable, but there's also Ellen did so much more for the queer community than we will ever really understand.
Yep. And the thing is, you can't expect somebody to commit their entire existence and their entire life and their entire career to doing stuff for the queer community. Would it be nice and incredible? Absolutely. Yeah. But you can't just expect somebody who's done so much to just I mean, I'm probably gonna get people mad at me, but like, it's somebody's life. They have to live their own life too.
Yeah.
And yes, they could be doing more, but also they've done so much.
Yeah.
Like, don't they deserve a break at some point?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what people are like, well, yeah, but who's going to be there to turn around and help us? And I get all that. That's what I mean. That's why I'm like, I agree with like holding her accountable. I agree with that, but I'm also,
right. That's what I'm
still
saying.
Appreciate what she's done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and if she, like, there's so many good queer icons that are stepping up now that are, that
it's time to
carrying
pass the
the
torch.
message forward, that I'm like, yeah, let's let them carry the message forward,
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Ellen's rich now, and she probably like, no, I definitely don't think, like, yeah, like the whole thing with her being friends with George Bush, like, I get it, it's shitty. Why is she friends with the guy that
Right.
that prohibited us? But also, I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. I just think I just appreciate the Ellen from that moment, the Ellen from the 90s and 2000s that like gave us where we are today. And if the Ellen today doesn't want to move forward, then I think she's missing out.
Yeah, absolutely. I
think
she could be part of something great. I mean, she's already got her show, but she could be part of another
era.
Another era.
Yeah, she could be. Maybe she'll come around. Who knows? Maybe she'll realize that being friends with the rich doesn't really pay off, or maybe she that's just who she is now. She's
Maybe.
a rich bitch.
Possibility.
And she's left us all behind the dust. I don't know. All the rich are gonna fall whenever the revolution happens. So, whatever.
This podcast is intended to inspire peace, love, and radicalism.
No,
Please do not listen unattended, or unless you don't want to be part of the radical movement.
no. Someone said something really great. They were talking about Beyonce, and they're like, when the revolution happens, yes, Beyonce is going to lose all her money, but she can stay. And that's how I feel about Ellen. Yes, when the revolution happens, is Ellen going to lose all her money? Yeah, but I think she could stay.
Let me tell you, something's going to happen because way too many people are getting way too mad in this country.
Oh, yeah.
And you see what's happening all around the world. In Japan, like, there's these riots. People are occupying schools, burning schools. Like, it's getting crazy. And if this country continues to get, like, we're not experiencing it because I feel like we just have more.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know why it's taking so long for some kind of revolution here. We probably have it better than most other places. I don't know. But something's going to happen eventually.
Yep. Oh, yeah. No doubt. There's no doubt something's going to happen. Whether it's an all-out war or it's just a toppling from government. I mean, we're past due. When you look at history, we're way past due.
We are.
For another shaking things up. Hopefully it's not bloody and violent.
Yeah, I don't want any violence.
No.
Please, don't hurt anybody, but something's going to happen.
Don't hurt anybody unless they start coming for us. And then we bunker down.
Carry a knife
Fight
with
like
you.
hell, bitches. Okay, so anyways. Now, while the 90s certainly shoved the door open.
Thanks, Ellen.
Open. The 2000s took a wrecking ball and leveled the entrance. Remember how we mentioned that the first female-to-female kiss aired in 1991? Well, in 2000, networks still had not allowed two men to be aired kissing on scripted television. So a few shows decided to take matters into their own hands. One was the popular teen drama Dawson's Creek. Did you ever watch that?
Nope.
Okay. Samantha made me watch that whenever we first started dating, and I'm actually not disappointed. Which finally allowed gay characters Jack and Ethan to kiss during the season 3 finale. Like, I guess they dated the whole time,
and they
never kissed. Yeah, and it's so weird now.
They always sat like a foot apart.
Yeah, like they're dating. They're a couple. Another show was Will and Grace, which made fun of network TV's avoidance of male-on-male affection. During an episode, Will and Jack went to go protest this cause outside of the Today Show, and in frustration, Will plants a big kiss on the unsuspecting Jack. Though the kiss was comical, it still got the point across.
A watershed for queer television, though, began in April of 1999 when Britain's Channel 4 aired the show Queer as Folk. While people had been coming around to the idea of LGBTQ representation on TV, the sex-charged first episode of the hour-long drama was shocking for many and delightful for others, causing the popularity of the show to carry across the ocean to America and Canada. In 2000, Showtime launched the American version of Queer as Folk to rave reviews and raving protesters. That didn't stop the groundbreaking network from running the show for the next 5 seasons, or from launching the similar series The L Word in 2004, a show that any good lesbian has seen today. Or, if you haven't seen it, that means you're a bad lesbian. Unless you're in Britain and prefer the UK version, Lip Service. I really like that name. That's a good name.
Lip Service?
That's a good name.
I like both shows, but Lip Service, really? Yeah, I guess, yeah.
That's a great name. Are you kidding me?
I like the L word.
No, that's okay. Lip Service, that's like a brilliant name. That's the name of our next podcast.
All right. So throughout the 2000s, queer television continued to evolve. The show Noah's Ark aired on Logo TV in 2005 and became the network's most popular series. It centered around the stories of Black and Latino gay men in Los Angeles, and to this day is one of the few series which has so prominently featured queer people of color. Despite its high ratings, the show was abruptly canceled after the season 2 finale, and to this day, no one has given a solid reason as to why the show was dropped, despite being the network's most popular series. It was their highest rating.
So one of the characters probably fucked one of the producers, and the husband found out, or the boyfriend found out, and there was a whole lot of drama, and they canceled.
You think so?
That's what happened, I'm telling you.
Wow. All right. Well,
that's why Willem was kicked off Drag Race.
Well, I'm not surprised at whore. So it would be 12 years before we would see another show that focused on queer people of color the same way. So like really there's nothing out there. And you can actually, I believe, I don't know if you have to pay for the subscription, but you can now watch the entire Noah's Ark on Logo's YouTube channel.
Oh, the YouTube channel? If it's on... Oh, actually, YouTube does have that new...
They're that new paying thing. So I have no idea. I didn't look into it, but check it out and see. So...
Along the way, several breakout shows with strong queer themes or which centered around LGBTQ issues hit the mainstream. Modern Family, featuring 2 gay dads and numerous gay characters, has earned 22 Emmys in its 11-year run, as well as a host of other awards and critical acclaim as one of the most popular sitcoms of all time. Several other popular shows, such as America's The Fosters and Orange is the New Black, as well as Britain's Skins and Sugar Rush, and Canada's Schitt's Creek. Oh, have you watched any of Schitt's Creek? It's actually pretty good.
All of Schitt's Creek.
See, I know that one.
Yes, I love it.
Have all continued to incorporate queer themes into mainstream television. And these are only a fraction of the countless LGBTQ-centric shows that are out there.
Yeah, like it's so different now. Like I could not name all the shows that have queer characters, queer.
Yeah. Actually, the 100.
Yeah.
The main female character is a lesbian. Well, she's bisexual.
She's bisexual.
She's bisexual.
See,
yeah.
I started to watch that a couple times.
It's really good.
I know.
It's not
you told me to watch
It's not too scary for you.
I know.
Nothing's gonna jump out and scare you. But it's really good, and the main character is a bisexual woman, so that's pretty cool.
Every show that comes out now has some like gay character, or gay theme, or something. Like
it's like they're trying to monopolize on our community.
Yeah,
but I love when people get so angry about that. They're just pandering to the community. So you don't want representation in there. You want the representation, but you don't want the what?
Like I don't know what you want.
Right.
Like they're just trying to pander to us. Yes, please pander to me because I love seeing queer representation in the shows. You know what I didn't put in here? My coming out show, Glee. I didn't put that in
Glee
here.
was wonderful. That was such a that helped me so much in like that time of my life. Just seeing them in high school being normal. Yeah. Like that was such a great thing for me to see.
Well, that's why I say, like, I wasn't in high school because I was a little older than you, but that Glee is why I came out because it was the first thing that I ever saw that had a positive gay character in it. And I was like, oh, and also I had a huge crush on whoever played Quinn, Danielle something.
I don't remember.
I forgot. Whoever played Quinn, the blonde cheerleader.
Like, the dumb one?
Not the dumb, not Brittany. No, the pretty one that
Brittany
dates
S. Pierce or
yeah, no, not Brittany. No, the pretty one that dates that
I know
that Rachel Seals,
yep.
whatever. Anyways, I had a huge crush on her. Like that was the first. I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
And I was married, and I was like,
something's wrong here. Yeah, some dots are not connected.
I'm not thinking about the quarterback. I'm thinking about her. So, so in most recent years, transgender and non-binary people are now seeing proper representation on screen. So, despite all the progress that we made, almost no trans or non-binary individuals. The breakout show Transparent on Amazon featured a transgender woman who begins her transition much later in life. On the flip side, earlier this year, Amazon also released the show Euphoria, which features a horde of young, gender, and sexually fluid people and stars several queer artists. Zendaya is in there. Cannot recommend that show enough. Love it. In keeping with the strong theme, Canada released another mini-series in the Tales of the City story. This one, though, is much more diverse in cultures and expressions. And for the low representation of queer people of color, 12 years after Noah's Ark, Pose made its debut.
Which, by the way, I'm still on season 1 because I don't watch TV, but I have started Pose. It is great.
It's
if you
fantastic.
haven't, okay, you have watched it.
Yes,
it's
I have.
So good.
So damn good. And it's on Hulu right now, I think. At least the first
maybe,
two.
I don't know.
It's
on some streaming
It's on one
service.
of the, Hulu or Netflix. It's the first 2 seasons. This is a show that focuses on queer, black and Latino people, but that also deeply shines a light on trans women of color. Just excellent. It's so well done. I think they just won their first Emmy. It's just so good.
It's incredible. It made me feel so many emotions in a single episode that I was blown away. I was like, it was a work of art.
The direction, the acting, the writing, everything about it is fantastic.
Yep. So we started this timeline in the 1970s, and almost 50 years later, we're finally starting to see the representation we need. Yes, it's taken us a long time to get here. The new premiere for The L Word promises a future in queer TV as diverse as our community. We can only hope it won't take us another 50 years to appreciate the impact TV representation can have on a society. As presidential candidate Joe Biden once said, and no, this is not at all an endorsement.
Just quoting the guy.
Right. Will and Grace probably did more.
Like that's Bernie.
It's Bernie.
We can only do Bernie.
It's true. I guess that just says something.
Yep.
Will and Grace probably did more to educate the American public than almost anyone has ever done so far.
This is such a Biden statement.
That's very Biden. Let me tell you something. Should have started with that.
Right.
The statement certainly devalues the decades of LGBTQ activism, but it does show the power of television and, most importantly, the power of exclusion and inclusion. Maybe always continue to work towards inclusion.
Yes, I had to end with that thing. Of course, Biden would be like, "Yeah, Will and Grace. That's what made gay.
That's the thing that launched. Let me tell you something. That's the thing that launched
everything.
All of this. You see gay pride, Will and Grace. You're welcome.
It's probably the only queer thing he's ever paid attention to.
Absolutely.
But the sad thing is that he is like most white, straight, cisgender people. Like that's the only thing that they've ever seen that's made them like, oh, okay, I guess gay people aren't out there just molesting folks left and right.
Right.
You know? And so, yeah. But yeah, inclusion, folks, that's what we need to keep striving for.
Always work towards inclusion. I'm going to say it again. When you go to the bar, if you see that person sitting at the bar all by themselves, they look a little scared or nervous, just say hi. If they don't want to talk, they don't want to talk. But, you know, try to include. Right, don't harass them, but try to include people who might normally be on the outskirts of the community. Make them feel welcome.
Exactly.
Because all it takes is one person telling you that you're okay to make you feel better.
That's right. Exactly. And we don't have a recommended resource because your recommended resource should be any of the shows that we've just mentioned.
Absolutely.
You should go in. You should watch them. We're giving you permission to sit around on the holidays.
Especially if you get snowed in. Just binge watch an entire series.
Yeah. I mean, if you like, just let me. What do you want to watch? Hulu. We've got Pose. Netflix.
I think it's Netflix. I really do, but it could be Hulu.
I don't think it's Netflix. I'm looking right now. Literally, I'm going to pull this up on my phone before I have to delete all my apps because we can't afford them anymore.
Download all the content now. Download it all.
Nope, you're right.
Yeah, I thought I was right.
RuPaul's Drag Race is on
the first
Hulu.
5 seasons.
Yeah, right. So that's on Hulu. So Netflix has Pose, so you should definitely get caught up on that. Amazon, Euphoria. Please watch Euphoria. I mean, you gotta Zendaya, like she's like this gender fluid, queer person that's just amazing. I love it. She also plays a recovering drug addict, so you know, like that pulls my heart a little bit. And she's in love with a trans girl, so. Just got everything in it. Not that you care because you're not going to watch diddly shit.
No, I'll watch it because you know what? With the winter coming up and having more free time, I have more time to watch things. I watched 3 episodes of a show yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah. It's called Electric Dreams. It's on Amazon.
What's it about?
It's like Black Mirror. I'm pretty sure there was some queer stuff on there, but I don't really remember because I smoked a little bit of weed before I started watching it. So
Black Mirror has had an episode with Miley Cyrus on it, right?
Yes.
Okay. I think there is queer themes in that, but I don't remember.
It's a very like new, and it's all about future. Oh, actually, Electric Dreams. The first episode has a lesbian couple.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Oh, and also, of course, Modern Family and Will and Grace is on Hulu. So if you just want like something funny,
and if you want something free, I'm sure that on YouTube has probably at least some episodes of something. There's all kinds of free resources.
Or you can watch any of the clips that I mentioned. Like watch the first lesbian kiss, watch Relativity.
Also, if you're really in need, you can go Pornhub. They have lots of content on there. You can see all kinds of stuff on there.
Not that I would ever watch anything on Pornhub, but I did run across this film it was very well done because it started with like this girl in this girl's home, like being told like she's got to cure her lesbianism, and then it like went into
then she's getting fisted.
That basically, yeah, she was curing her lesbian in her residential home. It was a well-tailored film. I don't remember where I found it, but it was,
All right, stay queer.
Don't get lobotomy.
We love you, our little allied hookers.
And little succulent sapphires.
Our proud homocrats.
And have yourself a sodomy circus, a sodomy Christmas.
A sodomy Christmas circus.
Have yourself a sodomy Christmas.
We're going to get sued. Bye.
Bye.